Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the mob. Make sure I got my vocals right. Can y'all hear me? Anything? Chat mob, holla at you, boy. About to be the best show we've ever had, we've ever done. I know a lot of people watch. Don't have to catch it on the live, but as long as you catch it, right? Pause to catch it. All right, the lineup is crazy because these dots are going to be connected, unlike anything you've ever seen before. All right, is President Trump headed to Memphis after his deploying of the troops in Washington, D.C.? Everybody's talking about it on the internet, and I'll elaborate more on that about what's going on. It's not a political show, so we're going to talk about what everybody else is talking about in Memphis, right? The young rapper that was murdered. I usually don't even focus on these negative stories, but we have to talk about this because it's something to build on. And we have solutions, right? This is a great story that comes out of this, or something that we got to acknowledge. Also, Memphis is deemed the worst city. Why is Memphis deemed the worst city? I'll tell you that because we have a neuroscientist explains how a thought held for 17 seconds will start to manifest. That correlates with Memphis being deemed the worst city. I'll get to that. Also, we have lead in the school water, right? Lack of leadership has led to lead in the school's water in Memphis City schools, right? I'll talk about that, and then we have a solution to how it all relates to us. And there's a little strike in New Chicago in Memphis, right? We'll get to that and more. I hit the like, subscribe, and all that, and sit back for the greatest intro on the planet. Bet. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, so Trump says National Guard deployment will go further. Could Memphis be next? And this was an article in the Commercial Appeal. And everyone's talking about this. And I saw us be torn during the election. And even when Trump got in the office, everybody was arguing about, well, Trump's good about the immigration that was going on, right? Saying it was good for people to be getting pushed out the country and getting the immigrants. I was like, hold up, man. Before y'all start siding with Trump, hey, man, we got to think about where we come from. Don't side with anybody because this could flip at any moment, right? So I'll get to the details after we read what they wrote about in the Commercial Appeal. Trump says National Guard deployment will go further. Could Memphis be next? Appreciate that, Sanchez. Bet. All right. President Donald Trump, Washington, D.C., combat crime, and Memphis could soon be on the list. In the August 11 press conference, Trump announced he would deploy National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. as part of an aggressive federal effort to crack down on crime in the nation's capital. The mission of 800 D.C. Guard members will resemble how troops are helping immigration agents swarm the southern border, the Army said, right? According to the Army, which was responsible for deploying this District of Columbia National Guard, the troops will be tasked administrative and logistical duties and supporting law enforcement with their physical presence, right? So in other words, they're going to be strong on it, right? They're going to be like the Scorpion unit, right? We're not losing our cities over this. This will go further. We're starting with D.C. and we're going to clean it up real quick, Trump said, right? So he said he's starting in Washington, D.C. He's going to start in his backyard first. So this goes back to what I said when everybody was, not everybody, but certain ones were happy about Trump getting rid of immigrants. I'm like, that ain't our place, man. We don't operate out there. We operate out of love. You understand where we come from in this country. They were like, nah, man, we're going to benefit from this. This is going to help us as in the working force, our people. I'm like, nah, when has it ever been about our people and the hard-working people that really built this country, bro? Come on, man. Right? So Trump is starting this in Washington, D.C. Going back, right? He said, we're going to take back our capital. Then we'll look at other cities. But other cities are studying what we're doing, right? Among major cities in the United States, Washington, D.C. has relatively high rates of violent crime and murder. But compared to Memphis, the crime rate is about half of that, right? So Memphis has a higher rate of crime than Washington, D.C. According to, we understand about stats. Y'all understand that, right? So Trump did this already too, right? As sitting president, he has the authority to deploy military troops and have civil unrest, right? The last deployment of troops was in Washington, D.C., occurred during President Trump's first term in 2020 in response to the murder of George Floyd, right? So that was the first time that he had troops deployed. So this has happened before, but now he's going to start his little tour. And he said the next city is New York. Then after that, I believe he said L.A. and so forth. Now, keep in mind, now they're already pushing for Trump to come down here in Memphis. Now, if you watched the show last week, Trump said this. Well, I'll get back to what we said last week. Trump said homegrowns are next. Trump hopes to deport and jail U.S. citizens abroad, right? Listen to this, in case you want them to come to Memphis. It's all going to make sense in a second. Follow me, rock with me. President Trump says his administration is actively exploring a proposal to detain U.S. citizens and send them to prisons in El Salvador. Right? So he said the homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build 5 or more places, right? We need more prisons. Now, you say that, and then you put in the fact that Memphis is high in crime. It seems like it's eventually going to happen that they're going to come down here, right? Now, this is Memphis's problem. If you watched last week, 201 is jam-packed. I know they're going to make another jail, but if this should happen, it seems like everything is just fitting right in place for them to deploy us. I don't know. It just seems like everything's in place for this, for Trump to have his tour. I told everybody that it was going to start with immigration. He was going to move to the inner city. And we know who lives in the inner city. And we also know when they're the target, as you see those of us who they show on the news who, acting a damn fool, that affects us. You just going to work, right? You just driving home. And it's that much action. You put 800 or 900 agents in Memphis like he did Washington, D.C. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what's really going to happen? So I felt like that was very, very key, that Memphis is overcrowded in the jail system. Trump's tour starts. He's deploying people to overseas. Eventually, that's going to be the plan. Hey. Everybody's talking about it. But hey, I feel like, connect the dots. I'll do it for you, right? Now, I want to get to this story. It's tragic as it is. C Money, young rapper. I didn't even know about his music. I ain't gonna lie like I knew about music. But everything that I heard in the clip was dope. We're going to play this because they're going to talk about what's really trending in Memphis right now with the rappers, to be a rapper in Memphis right now, right? And how tragic it really is. So they're going to talk about what really happened with him and what happened with Young Dolph, what happened with Yo Gotti's brother, what happened with Project Pat's son, and Juicy J's nephew, same person. But they're going to talk about all that, and we're going to talk about how we can get the rappers get a little bit more active. Right, let's check this out.
Every day we taking chances, trying to make it out. I've been chopping, rapping, trying to find a better route. Staying locked in till I find a way out.
This Memphis rapper killed in a shooting over the weekend. And this morning, Memphis police, they're still searching for the people or person responsible for the killing of this man, Cash C Money, a member of the rap duo Fast Cash Boys. Sunday morning, officers were called out to a home in Frazier that had been shot up near Macaulay Drive. Then, about half a mile away, police found the rapper, whose real name is Courtney Smith. Security video from a home nearby shows the shooting at Macaulay Drive. You can hear dozens of gunshots ring out in just a matter of seconds. Fox 13's Sierra Jordan shares more on the rapper's legacy.
This loss is hitting hard. The family says C Money was more than a rapper. He was a father, a friend, and working to turn his life around. And now they're honoring the man behind the music and his message to young people to leave the streets behind.
Hey! Anything you can get the stars in the moon.
Last month, Courtney Smith, also known as Memphis rapper,
he has some talent, man.
Cash C Money released Stars and the Moon. It would be the last song the rapper would ever drop.
I've been chopping, rapping, trying to find a better route.
Back in June, he posted a message on Facebook to young men online. It reads in part, quote, "Throwing your life away is not gangster, that's being stupid. Going to jail is not cool. Doing time is not cool. Having 1,000 ops is not cool. Get you some money, have some kids, and build you a legacy. Live for something and set your goals aside."
He definitely had the right message, right? I don't really know what happened, but hey, he put out the right energy on that. I'll tell you that much.
And set your goals aside. But that legacy came to a tragic end early Sunday. Memphis police say dozens of rounds were fired just after midnight in Frazier. Officers were called to a home in Frazier that had been shot up near Macaulay Drive and Macaulay Cove. Then, officers found Smith shot to death about a half a mile away. Hours later, a family member confirmed the news with Fox 13, and a GoFundMe was set up to help with funeral costs.
So much evil in my city, I'm trying to turn my life around. We gonna have to stop the violence if we wanna save our town.
That's 3-6 Mafia co-founder Juicy J releasing Stop the Violence in Memphis last week. The message comes 1 month after his own nephew, Project Pat's son, Patrick Houston Jr., was shot and killed in Emogene Heights.
My city, a war zone, man. It's so sad to see. If we stop killing each other, start killing each other, it would be a masterpiece. I'm tired of losing my friends, eye for an eye.
Now, he and many others are urging change, hoping C Money's death will spark action to end gun violence right here in the Bluff City.
Why you hating on me? You're not supposed to be a people. That should be illegal. I really tried to.
If you would like to support C Money's GoFundMe, we do it up to help with funeral costs.
So, the question is, right? What would it take to get the rappers in Memphis to somehow show unity and help us out to be more active? All of them, because Memphis is the hottest city in the rap game pretty much right now, right? If you look at the history of what's being sampled, 3-6 Mafia, Glorilla right now, Yo Gotti being the CEO, Moneybag Yo, Key Glock, what Dog did, how he put it down, A-Ball MJG. Like, can we get any kind of unity with these units of people? Look at that, unity with units, because they're all moving as units. But I'm going to tell you this, the reason why I know how to really do it is we got to do it. Like, that's why I said Memphis needs more celebrities, because who are we celebrating? Right? Yes, you said too much bloodshed. I remember we talked about that, but I'm saying at some point, yeah, it's too much bloodshed, but now it's been their own blood that has been shed. These rappers, celebrities, and the people who we celebrate, they lost family members personally. So they have their own experience. So if it's some kind of way, they got, like Juicy J's talking about, that's his nephew. You know, he's talking about that. So I never knew that it would be so close to home with the rappers. And they tell, Juicy J lost, 75% of 3-6 Mafia ain't with us no more. But even though we can't say they lost their life to gun violence, but I'm just saying, it's still not with us, no longer with us though, right? So I'm just saying, the first thing, think about this, if we had more unity in the city though, wouldn't it kind of make the rappers have to get with it? The people that we celebrate, wouldn't we have to do it first though? Wouldn't the mob, like if the mob was a bigger platform, wouldn't they have to come here? If we supported the right thing, if we celebrated the right people. Trump is a celebrity too. That's why I put that cover with Yo Gotti and Trump. I knew it was just clickbait, y'all. I'm just saying. Because we don't need more celebrities, because we are the celebrities, right? Celebrate ourselves, right? But I just feel like it's going to start with us. Then we get Juicy J, and then we get, I know Project, they're all doing something. I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but I'm saying they could do something together. Imagine them wearing the same t-shirt or being for the same cause or just doing the same tour of some sort, right? Just my thoughts. But I know, like you said, too much bloodshed. Yeah, but it's only going to be more bloodshed, right? Until we kind of come up with some type of solution, right? That's just my thoughts. Now, there was another article written saying Memphis is the worst city to raise kids in, right? And I'm telling you why you're going to see this. Because I usually don't, it's a pretty negative show for me. I don't really go this way, but I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell you why you see these things, why they promote this so often with predominantly black cities, right? So Memphis deemed worst major city in the U.S. for raising a family in 2025. Here's why. Written by the Commercial Appeal last week. A study found that Memphis was the worst major city to raise a family in. The analysis conducted by Wallet Hub examined 182 cities in the country and identified the best cities to raise a family in across several key metrics, including social economic status, affordability, education, among other factors, right? So Memphis ranked last among cities examined in the analysis. Other Tennessee cities fared better, but were placed in the bottom half of the study as well, right? Now, here's the thing about it. Memphis ranked last. They were worse, but Memphis ranked worse overall for the city, but it did not place last in any of the measuring categories. So if you don't place last in anything, how could you be the worst city? But it's just my thoughts, right? Well, I know why. And that's going to be in the next video clip as to why you read these things and why you see the things on the news that you see. Because there's a reason behind it. Right? We got to expose all these things. The city had an overall score of 34.7 out of 100, which is just shy of Detroit, Michigan, which had the second worst score at 34.10. Another predominantly black city, right? And you can also say a Democratic city too. That's what I always read. But yeah, nevertheless, we in there, right? Of 182 cities, Memphis ranked best in family fun at number 153. The city's worst ranking was in health and safety, of course, where it placed second to last at number 181. In other categories, Memphis ranked number 158 in affordability, number 168 in education and childcare, and 169 in socioeconomics. Memphis tied with Baltimore, Maryland, black, Cleveland, black, Birmingham, black, Little Rock, black, Oakland, black for the highest violent crime per capita, right? All right, so you see the trend, right, with that. So why you read so much negative things about cities that we live in, communities that we come from, and everything that we identify with? Pretty much is never just, if it's too positive, we deem it like cheesy. They're like, oh, nah, man, I ain't dealing with that, man. We ain't rocking with that. All right, so check this out. This is why you see so much negativity about yourself, right? And what it does to your mind, right? Negative thoughts, positive thoughts, right? 17 seconds to manifest. And what it does when it does manifest, right? Major video. You're going to thank me one day for this video. Could change your life. Check it out.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normal.
So let's say 17 seconds, you hold that thought, 17 more seconds, 17 more things, you build on it, right? Positive thought, could be negative, but we're going to talk about both, right? Builds energy, right? Now you got enough momentum to manifest something.
Say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. So let's say that I normally live in contentment. And that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden a car cuts me off and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened, this knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. So I go to the supermarket and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items and I'm getting in line and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
Right? You see how you manifest everything, bro? In the positive energy, positive thoughts, negative thoughts. We control everything. So anything that we're seeing, whatever's going on, right, we're in control of it as individuals pretty much. No matter what we're seeing on the television, what we're reading about, right, we're in control of it with how we're thinking. Even though, I don't care what I see, it's not going to affect me and how I view myself. And even though I know about it, I still avoid all the negativity about the stuff that when it comes to our own people. But it's crazy that they know all these things already. I say David, about neuroscientists and all this, right? But like it was something. some positivity that we could grow on. So you leave the house angry, and that angry energy just grows and grows and grows. Right? Seems to be a lot of that going on in the city, right? That was just my thoughts about that. Now, let's get to this. What's trending all over the city, right now? Elevated lead levels have been found in the drinking water of Memphis Shelby County schools, according to recent testing. Now, this is going to go back to something else, too, about Elon Musk and Trump, too. Like I said, this is not a political show, but the dots have to connect. That's what I'm here to do, right? And we don't just talk about problems, we talk about solutions, too. But anyway, high levels of lead have been found in the drinking water, right? The affected water sources, including kitchen sinks, concession areas, ice machines, water fountains, have been removed from service. The district is taking steps to address the issue, right? So they're taking steps. Memphis City Schools is taking steps to get it out of there. Yeah. So here's more of a detailed breakdown, right? What does lead really do to kids, though, right? It seems like all of this stuff seems to be connected with the test scores, with the focus, with how everybody's acting. And if the lead is in the schools, I know the schools are, but is it lead in all of our water? Is there high levels of lead in Memphis water altogether? I would wonder that, right? But MCS, Memphis City Schools, conducted a routine environmental safety testing, which revealed elevated lead levels in 27 individual water sources across 24 school campuses. I got the list of schools too. I'll bring that up next so y'all can know. If you got some kids in those schools, you need to be checking on that, right? Action taken. The affected water sources, some with lead concentrations exceeding 20 parts per billion, were immediately removed from service, right? Memphis City Schools is committed to addressing the issue with urgencies, including corrective actions and retesting of affected water sources, right? Water sources with lead levels at above whatever, blah, 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 right? So it was bad. So they found it in all these schools. Here are all the schools that they found it in. Bellevue Middle School, Bolton High, Central High, Cromwell Elementary, Middle College, Ford Road Elementary, Jeter Middle School, Georgian Hills Elementary, Germantown High, Invictus Academy of Airways. That's Airways Middle School? It's got to be. Jackson Elementary, Kingsbury Middle, Northeast Prep Academy, right? Oak Forest Elementary, Raleigh Egypt Middle, all of them, Sheffield, all Sheffields, Southwest, Treadwell, White Station, and White Haven. A lot of schools. Now, we hear about lead in the water, but we understand that lead is poison, right? We don't want lead in our water. We just want natural water. We understand it's not something that we want in it. But I don't think many people may know what lead really does to kids. So here are the common symptoms of lead poisoning. I know we got some scientists that watch them all. Like, I already know all that, but everybody don't know it, bro. All right, so decreased cognitive abilities, right? Fatigue and headaches, irritability. So when you're in school, you can't learn, you can't think, you feel cloudy thoughts. Like, it seems like some of that's going on a bit. I don't know. Seems like something's going on in schools, all right? Rare symptoms, constipation, abdominal cramping, weight loss, and vomiting. Those are the rare symptoms, but the common symptoms are decreased cognitive abilities. Is this not planned out, man? Are you trying to make kids dumb or something? Like, I understand it. What did y'all already know about these old schools? I know I'm a conspiracy brother right now, but if you know the things that I know, and you've read the things that I've read, you would know that these things are no longer conspiracies. It's borderline, walking the line of fact. I just need to see a few more things, right? But let's go to the lead impact, neurodevelopmental and cognitive impacts, damage to the brain and central nervous system. Lead interferes with crucial developmental processes, potentially causing permanent damage. Reduced IQ. Studies show a direct link between lead exposure and lower IQ scores, even at low blood lead levels. Let me go check those test scores in Memphis. You got 20 schools with extremely, not small amounts of lead, extremely high amounts, right? And this says studies show a direct link between lead exposure and lower IQ scores, even at a low blood lead level. That means you ain't gotta have that much, right? Learning disabilities. Lead exposure is associated with a higher likelihood of learning disabilities and reduced academic performance, according to the National Center for Healthy Housing, right? Behavior problems, right? Children exposed to lead may exhibit attention problems, hyperactivity, irritability, and other behavior issues. Seems like we see some of this. And how long has this been going? I'm not saying it's the only thing. This, along with everybody already saying it's in the chicken, the food, and whatnot. But with so much going on, something gonna get you. Right? But you gotta be aware of it. Be strong-minded, because I've probably been drinking lead water and doing all that, and I haven't been affected by this. But it's just the idea that we're aware that the attempt is happening, right? Or the lack thereof, the attention to it is happening, right? But somehow we still overcome. We still have come a long, long way. We still in good hands, but we got to be aware of these things, right? Lead can hinder a child's progress in acquiring essential things like language and motor coordination. That's crazy. To think that they already know all this, right? Right, we still, because we was drinking water at the water hose, right? I understand, right? They've been trying it. They're going to keep trying it, but it never works, right? Because we still here. We still got this going on, right? This is awareness. Never fear. Never fear. Always awareness, right? So, in 2018, a report found that an estimated 41% of schools districts serving 12 million students had not tested school water for lead in 2016 and 2017. So they're not even testing for it, right? So even the schools that they did find, they're not testing for it. It's just something to be aware of. It's trending. Not anything to be fearful of, like I said, but down the list, I wouldn't just be dwelling in those schools like that, though, right? If you can get your kids out of those schools, hey, so be it, right? That's what I would say. That's my suggestion. Now, this is the thing that ties what I said about Trump, and why I said that is even a part of this. Wow, while Memphis tap water is great, right? Lead levels in some homes may be elevated due to plumbing materials, right? Although the city's water source itself doesn't contain lead, older plumbing in some homes, particularly those built before 1940, may contribute to higher lead levels, right? Now, here's the thing. How you find the lead? The EPA does it. Now, the EPA was recently defunded by Trump. So when they loosen the laws up, the EPA is over the air quality and the water and all of that. So that's what allowed Elon Musk to come in and make his big grand supercomputer. And many other AI companies are also making their companies too. So you gotta understand, like, it's not, like I said, these aren't fear tactics. These are tactics that we should have, right? Trump rocking with him, right? His folks is rocking with him. Like I said, who are we celebrating? Because he is highly celebrated by his people, right? But who are we celebrating here? That's the question. That's all I'm saying. So these is all something, like I said, the dots are connected because this is well planned out. Meanwhile, we need tactics. We need platforms. We need stuff like this. We need y'all to tell a friend about what we're doing here. Right? So we can have more awareness. And this is just not for this. Like I said, we go from politics. We go from health. We go from whatever's current, whatever's tied into us culturally, right? Not just in the city as a people. But yeah, I'm just saying that these folks have a dream team already set up. So the EPA standards goes with the lead in the water, and also loosening the rules to allow Elon Musk to do his thing. So let me get to this too. There was a right. There are plans to build a new jail system, right? And New Chicago in North Memphis. Nobody's talking about this, but the people in New Chicago rallied together and said they don't want it, right? Right. So take your jail somewhere else, residential prison, justice, fairness, respect for this community. Shout out to them. So I'm gonna show y'all this. No jail in New Chicago. I know. Did anybody know about this? That they're building a new jail center and facility for the police. Check this out. This is the facility. What's up, brother Dave Jones? What's up, brother? I see y'all. We totally what thoughts go on energy flows. Bet. Yep, exactly. Energy vampires. There's all these people are, right? Yeah, fear mongers, right? We understand that. We're not afraid. We're aware, right? Everything that I say that even sounds a bit scary, like I'm gonna tell you, like, nah, ain't nothing to fear. We already know what's up. We know what they're trying to do. Now, the Federal Corrections Institute, they got all of this. Shelby County Sheriffs. Okay, you heard? I know you heard about it, Dave. I already know you already in with it, right? The people don't want it in their neighborhood, so they're against it. And some people are arguing that this is what they mean by infrastructure, right? Okay, well, hey, since it's ran down there, okay. Okay. So before we get out of here, that was pretty much the last story. This was on the billboard on Crump Boulevard. What do Marines fight for? And the chance to feed Mexicans to alligators. Somebody went up there. I just thought that was crazy what's going on in the city. All this stuff going on, and they got time to do this. But yeah, I saw that was on the Memphis Reddit. I was like, yeah, let me just share that on the mob so everybody can know what's going on with it. But yeah, y'all already know, man. You know what it is. Let's go back. Okay, bet. For the rundown, is Memphis next? Trump deploying the National Guard in other cities, y'all. And I want to hear what some people got to say that just came in. And what you think about this, Dave, too? That is Trump going to come down to Memphis? I know you seen him being deployed in Washington, D.C. A lot of people talking about him coming here to Memphis, right? What's up? What's up, my boy? John Beast in the building. What's up, homie? Right? So tell me your thoughts. You know, this is what this is for. We got a lot of intelligent people in here sharing thoughts right now. Is Trump, do you think like Memphis is on the list of cities to be, with him deploying the National Guard? And y'all let me know. I'll let everybody know about that. And he already deployed troops before in Washington, D.C. when everybody was protesting about George Floyd, right? And Memphis has a high crime problem than Washington, D.C., and we're very similar to the population. Washington, D.C. has 689,000 people. Memphis has 633,000. So he put 926 troops out there. So you can imagine it's the exact same thing. If should it happen, ain't nothing to be worried about. Those just something to be aware of that we're talking about. We want to know what's going on around us at all times and be aware of it, like I said. But the stronger we make, not only my platform, but other platforms that other people have too, the stronger we make our unit, man, we ain't got nothing to be worried about. But okay. Right. I hear you, brother. So yeah, I was just talking about him saying that homegrowns are next to be deployed. And he was talking about this back in April of this year. He was talking about deploying American citizens, that if jails got overcrowded, that he would send citizens to El Salvador. And that seems ironic, right? With 201 being overcrowded. Nothing to be fearful of, like I said, but be aware that 201 is overcrowded, right? So if they got all these plans, we need to be making plans too, right? Because it seems like everything's working in place. And we just out here just slamming bones, getting money. And they're going to end up eating out our own hand, right? Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Dave. Right? If he starts in D.C., eventually he will hit every major city. And we know that's eventually going to happen. But wouldn't it be nice to already be prepared and be aware of this instead of something happening and then you just like, oh, man, what's happening? Nah, I was talking about this happening last year. Right. Right. We need to be very alert and aware because once it starts, it would be hard to stop. We're not already united. Right, exactly. And we talked about the young brother, E-Money, and how we can get the rappers. I know everybody want to talk about the rappers, but this was trending in Memphis, and tragically, another rapper tragically loses his life. Young brother. Juicy J talked about losing his nephew, did a song, he released that too. We just talking about getting all them active, but I felt like until we get everybody active, us, the people, then the rappers are not going. There's no pressure to do it. They got their own thing. Like it's going until there's no unity, right? Right. So they're moving as a unit right now. We just gotta show more unity with us, and the rappers gonna reflect what we do as a people. But all this stuff is hitting close to home with them too. Like I said, situation with Dolph, situation with Gotti's brother, Juke, tragically losing his life, situation with this rapper. We got so many, right? Project Pat's son, Juicy J's nephew, like I said. It's hitting closer to home for everybody. And we talked about Memphis being deemed the worst city, even though Memphis did not rank last in any of the categories, but they still deemed Memphis the worst city. And I'm talking about why we see these things, right? And we see these negative thoughts. I can almost play this video again, but I love this though. We see these negative thoughts because it takes 17 seconds for a thought to manifest. You leave your house angry, you're going to only attract more anger. You're going to go to the grocery store. So if you read something negative about yourself and about your people, if all you watch is negative stuff, as soon as you leave your house, that's how it's going to happen, right? So we got a lot of that going on within the city. A lot of negativity being promoted, right? A lot of unaware people. Unaware that this is being put on them, right? So enlightenment, peace, and joy. We talking about energy levels when you leave. So you leave the house depressed, you're going to find somebody else that's probably even more depressed than you. Or run into that, and then so forth and so forth. I don't know when it stops, but it takes a lot of energy to stop that. But then the same goes for being positive. So we just need, until that happens, until we get more people leaving the house with positive thoughts in this city, in this unit, understanding that, creating their own. Because I'm in the same city and I don't go through the stuff that people are talking about, right? But I also don't think about that. So I attract positive things in my energy level. I'm conscious of that. I could be anywhere. It's all about the mind. So we get everybody understanding that, and then we create our own environment and our own culture and thinking, right? So make sure if you didn't catch the beginning of the podcast, take it back and watch that video. Life change. But yeah, that and the lead levels and the water, right? New Chicago protests. But that's it. That's it for today, right? That's it. So we'll be back. Man, great to see some familiar faces, right? Yeah, Tafiti said broadcast. This is what we're doing. We're on the spell. Broadcasting. Broadcasting, right? That's how you cast a spell. And the only thing I think could determine them if we could economically come together and start spending with every major group and put our money together. Yeah. We got power. It's just we don't have structure. And that's what comes with having an identity. So we take our identity back, then you can be proud. That creates the structure, right? So now we have a strong identity. Now the money is cool. Now we know what to do with the money, right? We get control of our dollar. I've been saying that from day one. Take back control of our image. Take back control of our dollar. That's even within this city. Isn't Yo Gotti the most powerful CEO in rap music right now, currently? Right? Just him by himself. I'm just saying. Not just him. Isn't Glorilla like the hottest artist? I know they are entertainers, but this is what people know Memphis for being. But it's still very powerful if we could get those people together. Isn't 3 6 Mafia the most copied group in rap music right now? People still love Project Pat. It's all of that stuff. If we could get those people, but I know if we could get those people, it could happen. But it starts with us, right? It's all about you. And I know I've been guilty of doing it this show, but we once again talked about Trump. We talked about rappers, ball players, John Morant, the mayor, what's going on. But hey, it's all about the one right here though, brother. Right? Starts with you. Starts with you. So yeah. Starts with you, man. The ego teaches us that the best way to deal with negativity or distractions is not by fighting, but by rising above and staying focused on our own path. And that's what we live by, right? No matter what's going on in politics, we're going to stay on our own path. But what I'm saying is we have to create this path, right? It's still work to be done. The path ain't going to create itself, but this is what we're doing right now. But who are we celebrating? Are we celebrating platforms like the mob? People like yourself? Right? Are we going to celebrate those who we already been celebrating? It hasn't been getting anything done, right? For sure, for sure. Appreciate that, Dave. Appreciate that, brother. All right, y'all. So I'm about to get out of here. I'll see y'all next week. Like I said, if anybody know any guests that we want to bring on the platform, y'all let me know. And I'll keep working, right? It's the mob. Memphis OVER Bull live. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Chill.